I never imagined the day would arrive when Emily, my wife of 8 years, would stare straight into my eyes and tear down everything we had built together. Our marriage wasn't flawless, but I always believed it was steady, dependable, and unshakable.
That night began like any other.
I came home from work expecting dinner, maybe some casual talk about her day. Instead, she sat across from me at the table, holding a glass of wine, her eyes colder than I had ever seen. Then she said it, calm, sharp, deliberate. "I'm with another man tonight. Don't wait up."
My fork froze halfway to my mouth.
Time seemed to stall, the air itself thick with disbelief. Her words landed harder than any punch could. For a second, I wondered if she was joking. But the slight smirk on her lips erased any doubt. Emily wasn't ashamed. She wasn't apologetic. She was daring me, waiting to see if I'd break down, beg, or explode in rage. Instead, I leaned back in my chair. My chest pounded, but my expression stayed controlled. The woman I thought I knew no longer existed. What sat across from me was someone else entirely, someone who had been living behind lies for too long. If she thought her little announcement would destroy me, she was about to learn differently. I placed my fork down carefully, wiped my mouth, and met her gaze. "Is that so?" I asked evenly. The lack of outrage seemed to throw her off. She arched a brow, clearly waiting for fireworks. "Yes," she said with defiance. "I'm done pretending. I've been with someone else, and tonight I'm going to him." Her words carried venom, but I caught a faint hesitation beneath the surface. She hadn't expected me to stay so composed. I rose slowly, pushing my chair back. Walking to the cupboard, I pulled out a bottle of wine. She studied me intently, anticipating a crack in my calm. Instead, I poured myself a drink, took a long sip, and replied, "Good. At least you're finally being honest. Now let me return the favor. Once you leave this house tonight, you're not coming back." Her smirk slipped. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice suddenly softer. I turned toward her. "I mean exactly that. You walk out that door, you don't return. Not ever." For the first time, her confidence faltered. She had expected tears, anger, or desperate pleading. Instead, I handed her the very rope she thought she had wrapped around me. "Pack a bag," I told her. "Or don't. Either way, this won't be your home anymore once you leave." Her mouth opened, but no words came. I could see her trying to reconcile the man she thought I was with the one standing before her. "I didn't think you'd react like this," she muttered at last. I let out a bitter laugh. "Of course not. You thought you could humiliate me, keep me hanging on while you enjoyed someone else. But I'm not that man, Emily. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine." I pulled out my phone and sent a quick message to a lawyer friend. By morning, divorce papers would be in motion. "By the way," I added, "everything here is in my name. Don't think you're walking away with half." Her face paled. Panic flickered across her expression. The bravado was crumbling. "Wait, we don't have to do this," she said quickly, her voice unsteady. "Maybe I was just upset. Maybe I didn't mean it like that." I shook my head. "No. You looked me in the eye and told me you were with another man. That wasn't anger. That was the truth." Her excuses collapsed under the weight of her own confession. The silence that followed made it painfully clear. Our marriage was beyond saving. I didn't shout. I didn't curse. I didn't shed a tear. I simply poured another glass of wine, sat back down, and let her sit in the heavy realization that she had lost control. She shifted nervously, searching for words, but I cut her off. "Go," I said firmly. "You wanted him. You've got him. But don't ever think you can crawl back here again." Emily stormed out, slamming the door behind her. I sat in the quiet, sipping my wine, surprisingly calm. I wasn't shattered, I was free. She thought her betrayal would ruin me, but instead, it unchained me. The weeks that followed moved quickly. The divorce was straightforward and entirely in my favor. Friends who had once admired our marriage were stunned, but I didn't bother justifying anything. My focus was already forward, rebuilding without the shadow of her lies. Months later, I saw Emily again at a mutual friend's gathering. She looked worn down, drained, nothing like the woman who once smirked at me across the dinner table. When our eyes met, she immediately looked away, unable to hold my gaze. And in that instant, I knew she finally understood. That night she thought she had crushed me with her confession. But my calm response hadn't broken me, It had broken her illusion of power. My silence, my steadiness, and my refusal to crumble left her with nothing but regret.